Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP. So I've done two videos about TE and SI. Now we go to NE. NE, the secondary function or auxiliary function, which is our growth function as INFPs. It's too often that we forget that we need to use it more. I think as INFPs, it's hard for us to realize that NE is our growth because we're so used to hearing SJs talk about how SI and TE are the way for us to grow, when actually the path to growth for INFPs is mostly NE, by developing NE. Because otherwise it's very easy for us to just go into our FI SI loop, or like using TE in little outbursts. It's very difficult to like develop your last function. We have to do it since this world is pretty much TE focused, but we will never be really good at it. Well, NE is something that we can be really good at. If we just like decide to engage in it more. INFPs, we lead with our FI, but then we need to get our ideas from somewhere, and that's from NE, because we need something to feed in our feelings, so that we can learn about the world. And it's through our NE. And NE sees all the possibilities and makes the world such an exciting place to be in. We get our information from NE. The information goes through NE, then it gets thought of and like processed through SI, and we make like a value judgment on it through FI, and then it comes out through TE. That's how usually the functions work. It has to come from the outside, be processed in it, and then it needs to be thought of, and then it needs to come out. And that's like that for all types. But for us, NE is what takes information in. Thing is, NE is an intuitive function, yet it's extroverted. So it's a little bit complicated to think of, because usually people think of intuition as being inward and sensing as being outward. Well, for INFPs, we use SI and NE, which is opposite. So we get our ideas from the outside and we process it into sensory information. We use the sensory information that we have for like in another way. NE is like it takes one idea and spins off all the different ideas that can come from that. And it's like fireworks or like stepping stones, or it's explosive. It expands. It goes on different tracks. It makes you really think about all sorts of things. And there are no limits to NE. It's boundless. And that's why we have other functions to like rein it in. But we need to have that boundless in order for us to find excitement and love for life. And a lot of INFPs have trouble with finding love for life, including me, because we are so deep focused on inward feelings that we cannot grow loose. And we go into this dark world of FI, SI, and this TE that keeps like pounding on us, saying like, no, this is the way things are. And FI and SI are like, no, we suck, everything is so bad, and we are bad, and the world has nothing to offer. We don't fit in, everything sucks. and like we're in this mud and we won't get out. And so any is like a balloon or a thread to like get up to the surface of like, okay, yes, it might suck, but like my life doesn't need to just go on one path. There are like 10,000 other paths that it could go. And people aren't always in the set ways. There are lots of good people too, and look at all these examples of good stuff that happened. And we could just keep having more good stuff. And so we can find more good stuff through any. So we might see that, okay, well, I'm in this career path and it's shit. But like I could change jobs and it might be better. Or I could stay on the same job and just find a new position within that job. Or I could just I keep doing my job and then find something fun to do on the outside. And there are all sorts of possibilities, which gives us hope to come out of ourselves and find the possibilities and go on adventures and explore. And that's where NE is very important for the growth of the INFP. Because otherwise we'll just keep going on our routine, we'll keep doing the same stuff, and we'll keep staying at home and not doing anything at all. And we need to like do more exciting things. Like maybe we should like join that class on, I don't know, world languages, or I should try this new instrument, or I could try doing some pottery. It might suck, but like at least I'll have some fun. So NE seeks out fun. It seeks out all of like the good stuff that you could find outside. I mean, you can also find all of the bad stuff that like could happen, all the possibilities of the bad stuff that could happen, which sometimes like makes it hard for us to make decisions because we don't know what will happen in the future. So all the possibilities might seem like the same, like they might be just as likely as each other, and that makes it hard for us to make decisions. But I think that in general, we should actually be using NE more, which goes against like what's like all of society tells us, because NE is not like SI and TE. It's much more ridiculous and boundless and crazy. And so that's why there's kind of a point of conflict for INFPs to develop in the way that they're meant to, because society tells us to go and develop a certain set of functions, which actually isn't our path of development. We should be using NE more. We should be looking at the crazy things, because otherwise we'll just go on the set path that's set for us, which is like working at a boring 9-to-5 job and not finding any fulfillment in our life. So in order to find fulfillment and to find exciting and fun and love and all the good stuff in life, we need to use our NE, and we need to not just use the NE in our heads. We need to experience these possibilities. So we need to sign up to that fun class or whatever we want to do, and see if we like it or not, and just drop it if we see something else. We need to dare to do stuff more, which ENFPs are much easier. They have a much easier time using NE since they basically bathe in NE all day. But for us, we need to make the conscious effort of not limiting ourselves, but actually going out there and doing the exciting things that are out there. The risk for INFPs is to make their world so small by only going in our little loop of FISI and our world getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until there's nothing left. And like, yeah, it's really depressing. And that's how it feels too. And me also makes us really smart. And a lot of people underestimate that kind of smart, because it's not a really intellectual kind of smart, or it's not a very rational or organized kind of smart. It's kind of all over the place because it is any. We do have SI, which helps us reference to stuff, and the TE that makes us like rely on outside knowledge. But any really like we can connect stuff fast. I keep talking about my INFJ friend, but my INFJ friend does not use any, and he uses NI, which is like, dude, like NI is like completely something else. Really cool though, but he finds NE cool because NE is like always something new, and he who has NI, he's often so bored, like he can tell what somebody's going to talk about, and like he can tell what's going to happen in the conversation, but he can't tell if with me, because like the NE will just pop out something completely different than what he had thought, and he gets so surprised. It's really funny. So NE like keeps stuff fresh, makes you quick in associations. It makes you smart because like you can come up with something really quickly, and also NE is like the funny function, and it makes us super funny. So we should be proud of that. We should be proud of being funny, even though like of course there are other types that are more like the comedians, but we do have a funny sense of humor that often goes unappreciated, and I think we should say go us, okay? Any is really fun and funny and exciting, and we should follow it more. And that's what all I wanted to say about NE, I think. As INFPs, we're like, often in the depths of despair, and we need to see the light and see all of the possibilities out there. And that helps us solve our deep, sad problems to get out and like completely just leave the past behind and just think about the future, what could be. We could be hundreds of different kinds of people. We're not set in our ways. We can be whoever we want to be. So yeah, that's all I had to say about NE. Next is FI, and that's our best function. So looking forward to that. Bye.